What's up, my peoples? Salutations, Yasharal, Israel. This is Rob here, K.O.I, Oklahoma. Thank you for stopping back by the channel. Wanted to do a video. I haven't done a video in several months, and just want to do a video to help my people, to continue to share information that will help people, that will uplift people, that will encourage people in their walk with the Most High. All right. Before we get into the scriptures that I've set aside for this video, I want to give praise, honor, and esteem, majesty, prestige, all honor, all glory, all respect and reverence to the Most High. All right, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only Creator, the only salvation, the only Savior, the only power. He is our sovereign. He is our King. All right, and His name is Yahuwah. All right. So, wrote some notes down just so I could stay on track and, stay locked in, stay focused, and get these scripts out to you guys. So, all right, we're gonna start in Leviticus. All right, I'm gonna be using a combination of the Safaria Tanakh app on my phone. I'll be using a KJV version on my phone, and then I'll also be using a Brenton Septuagint online version on my phone. All right. Most of the verses that I read, though, will be from the Tanakh, from the Safaria app. So it's a pretty solid tool that I use. All right. I want to apologize for the few of you out there that, kind of may have wondered what was going on with me. Just haven't posted a video. So times is crazy. And I think 2024 is going to be even crazier. But this video, you see the title, right? It's called Let's Talk About Us. And basically what I'm saying is, let's talk about where we should be approaching these end times, these last days. We know that the prophecies in the Old Testament, in the Tanakh, say that the Most High is going to gather His people. But before He gathers His people, it's going to be some calamity. It's going to be some destruction. It's going to be some chaos. And it's going to be some judgment going down. All right. And we know that a lot of people will find out the truth about who the Father is, the truth about who we are, and the truth about the last few hundred years of this country, the last few hundred years of the information and the narratives that have been put out there that basically have allowed certain groups of people to monopolize the entire earth, and certain groups of people to oppress hundreds of different nations around the earth, maybe thousands. And we know one particular group of people, all right, have been chosen by the Most High. All right, the Brews, Israelites, have been chosen by the Most High as His particular peculiar people. And there are people out there that are just straight up evil, and they wanted that identity. All right, so we're going to talk about, I'm going to run you guys through, what is it, eight verses, 8 or 9 scriptures. And like I said, I got these notes, and I'm gonna go over the notes, and hopefully This will help you guys better categorize and better put things into a better perspective. All right, on what our thoughts should be, what we should be moving towards in our everyday lives, in our lifestyles, our decision making, what we should be searching for, researching. So let's go to Leviticus 18. We're going to start there. Let's see here. All right, Leviticus 18, verses 1 through 5. Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the Israelite people and say to them, I, Yahuwah, am your mighty one. You shall not copy the practices of the land of Egypt where you dwelt, or of the land of Canaan to which I am taking you, nor shall you follow their laws. My rules alone shall you observe, and faithfully follow my laws. I, Yahuwah, am your mighty one. You shall keep my laws and my rules, by the pursuit of which human beings shall live. I am Yahuwah. All right, so verse 5 right there is telling us all humans should keep the Most High's instructions. And my understanding of that scripture is all human beings should do that because the Most High is righteous, and anybody that represents him or anybody that follows him or anybody that serves him has to be righteous as well. And so since his rules is the only righteous rules, it only makes sense that everybody who decides to have a relationship with him follow those righteous rules. And I mean, that's just what it is. All right. Now let's go to Leviticus 20 and let's get a little bit more. All right. Leviticus 20, we're going to read verses 22 and 23. All right, 22 says, you shall faithfully observe all my laws and all my regulations, lest the land to which I bring you to settle in spew you out. Righteousness is tied to the land. All right. The earth requires its inhabitants to be righteous. All right. Therefore, the Father that created the earth, the power, the source, the Almighty that created the earth, all right, created it in such a way that righteousness would have to be lived and expressed in order for the land to yield everything that it's going to yield and be at peace with the people. All right. Verse 23, you shall not follow the practices of the nation that I am driving out before you, for it is because they did all these things that I abhorred them. All right. The nation, all those people that lived in Canaan, when the Most High told Israel to go in and take it, if you read the story of Joshua, you get that whole story. And when the Most High set Joshua, Yahushua, that would be his Hebrew name, all right, the son of Nun, to help to lead the people into Canaan, into the promised land, they were supposed to wipe everybody out because the Father knew those people was worshiping other gods and stuff. And the Father didn't want us doing that. I got one more verse of scripture that's tied to those two scriptures to read, and then I'll be able to make my point then. All right. And you guys probably can see where I'm going with this. All right. Let's get to Deuteronomy 12. Deuteronomy chapter 12. All right. And we're going to start at verse 29. Deuteronomy 12 and 29. All right. It reads, when your mighty one Yahuwah has cut down before you the nations that you are about to enter and dispossess, and you have dispossessed them and settled in their land, beware of being lured into their ways after they have been wiped out before you. Do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did those nations worship their gods? I too follow those practices. I too will follow those practices. All right. 31. You shall not act thus toward your mighty one Yahuwah, for they perform for their gods every abhorrent act that Yahuwah detests. They even offer up their sons and daughters in fire to their gods. All right. The Most High did not want us acting like the heathens of those lands. And I read those scriptures because it tells us in, I believe, Deuteronomy 7 and Deuteronomy chapter 14 that we are different. All right. We are we are a set apart people. We're supposed to be setting ourselves apart, doing things differently, doing things the way that the Father aligned for us to do them. Now, don't get me wrong. In captivity, we can't. There is no way we can do everything that's in the law. In captivity, people can argue me up and down on that. I don't care. All right. There's no way that we can do everything in the law, but there are certain things that we can still do to show our allegiance. All right. To show that we are a set apart, different people. All right. And there are things that are required. We just can't go around here killing people and then talking about that Yahuwah is our mighty one. All right. We can't just be randomly committing premeditated murder on people. All right. We can't be sleeping with other men's wives and stealing their cattle, stealing their vehicles, breaking in their homes. We can't. The Father is against all that stuff. All right. So he made us to be set apart, and so now we have a choice. All right. It's more of a choice than it is an obligation, because what makes it an obligation is if you choose it. All right. And if you choose his ways, then that ultimately means you're choosing him. All right. So when I say let's talk about us, this is the first thing I want to talk about us on is we are different. And you have to acknowledge that. You have to call that out, and you have to stand 10 toes down on that. Once we acknowledge that we're different, we got to live different. We got to do things different. And it's not always easy. All right. Anything that goes against the desires of the Father is disobedience. Let me stick that note in there. All right. Now let's turn to Ezekiel 11. Something I want y'all to see real quick. All right. Let's get to Ezekiel. Now, I'm going to read Ezekiel 11 from the Tanakh. Then I'm going to read it from the KJV. Then I'm going to read it from the Brenton Septuagint online. All right. All right. Ezekiel 11, verses 14 through 21. All right. It says, then the word of Yahuwah came to me, O mortal, I will save your kinsfolk, your relatives, your next of kin, all of that very house of Yasharal, to whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem say, keep far from Yahuwah, the land has been given as a heritage to us. Say then, thus said the sovereign Yahuwah, I have indeed removed them far among the nations and have scattered them among the countries, and I have become to them a diminished sanctity in the countries whither they have gone. Yet say, thus said the sovereign Yahuwah, I will gather you from the peoples and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. And they shall return there and do away with all its detestable things and all its abominations. I will give them one heart and put a new ruach in them. I will remove the heart of stone from their bodies and give them a heart of flesh. Verse 20, that they may follow my laws and faithfully observe my rules. Then they shall be my people, and I will be their mighty one. But as for them whose heart is set upon their detestable things and their abominations, I will repay them for their conduct, declares the sovereign Yahuwah. So we're told here multiple things, but the two I wanted to point out first, we're told that the Father is going to let's see, verse 18. And they shall return there and do away with all its detestable things and all its abominations. All right. The people that's in our land right now are detestable and abominable. And when the Most High puts us back there, we will get rid of all the abominations and those things that are detestable in that land. But the main thing I want to point out here is that the Father said he would still be with us in a diminished role, even when he sends us into captivity. When he scattered us, he said he would still be with us. Now, he turned his face from us because of sin. And I'm going to get into that with this next verse I'm going to read. All right. But he is still available to us in our captivity, is what I wanted to point out. He's still available to us in this captivity. Our sin limits, and I ain't going to use the word limit. Our sin blocks us from that diminished role. Him being in a diminished role to us still means we can make it through what we're going through over here in this captivity, or wherever around the world you may be in captivity, where you got scattered to. All right. He's still with us. But for him to show, or for us to be able to lock into the limited part of himself that he left us, we have to change from sin. All right. There is no man that's going to save us from sin. There is no sacrificial human lamb to cover us in spiritual blood to save us from sin. And we going to see that here shortly too. All right. Because the Most High showed me something else in another verse. All right. But the Most High, we still have access to him. He said he would still be with us. Let me go read the KJV version of what I just read in Ezekiel 11. Oh, come on, phone. All right, there it is. Trying to go slow on me. All right. Ezekiel 11. Where's the verse I want? All right, verse 16. Therefore say, thus said the mighty one Yahuwah, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. He said he's going to still be with us as a little sanctuary. He wasn't going to be the great power source that he was with Israel when they was whooping on all the nations of Canaan, when they was taking over their land. All right. When he protected and when he brought them out of Egypt and protected them from Pharaoh. All right. He's not going to play that role with us, but he's still available to us. Let's see what it says in the Britain Septuagint right there in verse 16. All right. It says, Ezekiel, this is Ezekiel 11, verse 16. Therefore say thou, thus said Yahuwah, I will cast them off among the nations and will disperse them into every land. Yet will I be to them for a little sanctuary in the countries which they shall enter. All right. So the Most High is still with us. All right. He turned his face from us, all right, but he didn't forsake us, all right? He didn't totally forsake us. Yes, he left us in a terrible condition. That was part of the punishment, all right? He whooped us. He whooped our ancestors, and we have the capacity to come up out of that with each generation that will accept him and that will make the attempt to do as many things his way as we can. All right. Choose righteousness at the end of the day. We can't fulfill the entire law. All right? Remember, he said he's going to make a new covenant. So we don't want to try to fulfill this old covenant. We waiting on the new covenant. But while we waiting, we supposed to walk in righteousness. What is righteousness? We have to go through the Old Testament and read those laws, read those stories, read those examples. All right, and try to stick to those things the best we can. What makes sense, you do what makes sense. All right, what aligns with the word. What you can't do, you manage the best you can in righteousness. Everything is tied to righteousness. Everything is tied to honesty, integrity, and a willingness to do right. All right. The next verse. All right. Isaiah 59. And this one right here explains a lot. All right. And this verse right here, I believe, is the one that's going to show us about this being saved from sin stuff. All right, this is another verse that directly contradicts that New Testament. All right, Isaiah 59. Everybody wants to talk about Isaiah 53, but what about these other verses? All right, Isaiah 59 is got some pure gold here. All right. Says verse 1, no, Yahuwah's arm is not too short to save, or ear too dull to hear. Verse 2, but your iniquities have been a barrier between you and your mighty one. Your sins have made the divine face turn away, and he refuses to hear you. It's our sin. Because we keep sinning, I ain't gonna say we, because people keep sinning because they think a man has saved them from their sins. We have to turn from that stuff. We have to choose to stop sinning. Some habits are harder to break than others, but we have to make the decision to stop those habits, those bad habits. Some traditions are harder to break, but if those traditions go against the Most High's word, you have to break them, or it is sin. Some of us, some of our fetishes, some of our habits, some of our desires, all right, some of our cravings, our sins. And we got to talk about it. If you ain't got nobody to talk to, look in the mirror. Everybody should have somebody to talk to, though, even if you get in somebody's comment section. Hey, jump in my comment section if you got some questions. I ain't got all the answers, but y'all know what I say at the end of my videos. I'll share what I learned. We are separated from the Father. The Father, I just read to you in Ezekiel where he said he's going to play a smaller role in our lives, but he's still going to be with us when he scatter us. So we still have access to his wisdom. We still have access to his power, his knowledge, his healing. We have access to those things. Our sin keeps us from those things. You can go down here through Isaiah 59 and continue to read, all right? all those things that that people do that the Father don't like. But I'm going to take you down to verse 20 so I can make a point about sin. All right? I'm gonna read verse 19 first. Excuse me. All right. Verse 19 says, from the west they shall revere Yahuwah's name, and from the east the divine presence. For he shall come like a hemmed in stream that the wind of Yahuwah drives on. The mighty one shall come as a redeemer to Zion, to those in Jacob who turn back from sin, declares Yahuwah. We're not saved from sin. We have to turn from it. All right? And later on, we will be purified. You don't get saved from sin. You get purified from it. In our captivity, we are dirty. We are filthy. But the Most High is going to purify us when he regathers us. And he puts us back in our land. He's going to cleanse us. All right? We are not saved from sin by a man's sacrifice. A salvific son cannot save you. What can save you? To those in Jacob who turn back from sin, stop sinning, and maybe the Most High will save you. Verse 21, and this shall be my covenant with them, says Yahuwah. My ruach that is upon you, and the words that I have placed in your mouth shall not be absent from your mouth, nor from the mouth of your children, nor from the mouth of your children's children, said Yahuwah, from now on for all time. When he makes that new covenant with us, we not going to sin no more. And we're going to teach our children not to sin no more. And they're going to teach their children not to sin no more. And that's going to be the new cycle. It's not going to be a generational curse no more. It's going to be generational blessings. All right. The next verse I want to go to, Zephaniah 2 and 3. All right. Zephaniah 2 and 3. Another familiar verse you guys have heard me speak. All right. Zephaniah 2 and 3. Seek Yahuwah, all you humble of the land, who have fulfilled the mighty one's law. Seek righteousness. Seek humility. Perhaps you will find shelter on the day of Yahuwah's anger. That day is coming. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, just to put a reminder out there that we're not out of the woods. All right, it's fenced to get cranked up. All right, it's fenced to get crazier and crazier as time goes on. All right, the wrath of Yahuwah is coming. Okay, if you want to be spared from that wrath, I advise you to do what it says here in verse 3. All right. First of all, be humble. First of all, seek Yahuwah. Seek the Most High only. Don't seek other gods. Don't seek other religions. Cut yourself away from religion. All right. Read the Old Testament. Read the Tanakh. Do what it says to the best of your ability. All right. Read the Torah and try to do what it says. You're not going to be able to do it all. You're not. And don't let people try to punk you or pressure you on trying to do it all. All right. Don't let them get to your conscience and get to your mind by saying, well, since you can't do it all, that means you broke it all, and you can only, now you need JC to save you. Now you need Yahushua to save you. Now you need Yahushua to save you. All right. Now you need Jeshua to save you. No. No. All right. Only the Most High saves. Only the Most High saves. He creates, he saves. All right. He brings life and he takes life. Seek him, then humble yourself. All right. You got to be humble to receive his salvation. There's no, it says it right here in the word. All right. Seek righteousness. All right. Seek humility. And perhaps, maybe, you can find shelter on the day of Yahuwah's anger. Listen, there is more sin in this earth than there is good. There's more evil in this earth than there is good. The Most High got to tear this thing down. All right? There is more unrighteousness in this earth than there is righteousness. We see it every day. Heck, some of us are even still exuding some of that energy every day. Some of us put negative energy into the atmosphere. For what? Because either that's what's in our heart, or we have yet to all the way turn away from our bad habits. All right. The next scripture I want to go to, Ecclesiastes 1:18. And so I've determined that this verse right here has helped me see that this is why I haven't done a video in a while, because I just been kind of string victories together on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Some days are easier than others, but this verse right here I've come back to this verse several times. All right, Ecclesiastes 1 verse 18. For as wisdom grows, vexation grows. Some days I'm just straight up vexed at how I'm treated at work, or how I'm treated, if I get pulled over by officers, or how you treated at the grocery store, how you treated at, getting your oil changed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some things that are said to me or done to me just vex the heck out of me. And it's been weighing more and more on me. The older I get, the more I've learned these last couple years. All right. Especially these last couple of years. All right. To increase learning is to increase heartache. The more you know about this truth, the more it's going to break your heart. The more you try to convince family members that won't listen, the more it's going to break your heart. All right. The more you see decent people being mistreated and you have no power to help them, the more it's going to break your heart. The more finances just drain the life out of you. All right, because you might owe so much, to this bill or that bill or whatever, or these people or whatever. And that stuff just sucks it out of you. You have your ups and your downs, but some days, boy, it just gets overwhelming. And, just a little bit of all that has kind of been what's happening to me over the last couple of years. Just, you get tired, but that's no reason to stop sharing the beautiful truth of the Father's word, all right, to anybody that'll listen. And I apologize for that. All right. My goal is to do better. Is to continue to share information that is vital to certain people's lives as they try to walk in a more influential and humble manner with the Most High. All right. But that verse right there, listen, let me read this note that I wrote on this. I'm almost done, y'all. All right. This note says, when you feel like everything is overwhelming, and when you feel like you're just going through the motions, or what you're learning is bringing you trouble and pain, or you feel like you can't get your stuff together, or you're losing a bunch of family and friends, or the world is just too freaking hard and cruel at the time, remember Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 18. Because the gaining of knowledge, all right, and the increasing of learning is going to bring mental trouble to you. It's going to bring emotional or even physical trouble. All right. But it's something that you have to endure. All right. Which leads me to going to Proverbs 10 now. All right. And if you guys have noticed, I started, I'm just reading Tanakh to you. Started with the Torah. We just went into some of the prophets. We went to Isaiah and Zechariah. And now we're fixing to go into the writings. All right. And we're going to start the writings with Proverbs. All right. All right. Proverbs 10. All right. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father. A dull son is his mother's sorrow. Ill-gotten wealth is of no avail, but righteousness saves from death. Yahuwah will not let the righteous go hungry, but he denies the wicked what they crave. Negligent hands cause poverty, but diligent hands enrich. He who lays in stores during the summer is a capable son, but he who sleeps during the harvest is an incompetent. Verse 6, blessings light up on the head of the righteous, but lawlessness covers the mouth of the wicked. Verse 7, the name of the righteous is invoked in blessing, but the fame of the wicked rots. Here's a good one right here. He whose heart is wise accepts commands, but he whose speech is foolish comes to grief. Verse 9, he who lives blamelessly lives safely, but he who walks a crooked path will be found out. And you guys can continue to read those verses right there. But what it's getting at is giving you a little bit of wisdom, all right, on how you should be walking here in these last days. Remember, the Most High is still with us. He's just taken a back seat. He is in a diminished role because we don't, honestly, because of our sin, we don't deserve all the things that he could give us. All right. All right, we're going to go to well, first, let me read these notes to y'all. All right, what Proverbs 10 is helping us to determine is the following. What I'm about to read is those that the Most High is going to deal with, and those that he's going to bless, those that he's going to protect. All right, those who are standing on business, those who are speaking positive energy over our lives, executing his judgments in our lives, learning from our mistakes, applying his instructions where we can, walking in integrity, leaving all religious mindsets behind, and becoming a righteous, humble, and logical thinker. All right? Those are who these attributes, all right, are the attributes of someone who he will not only protect and bless, but maybe even hide us on his day of wrath. And that day is coming. We must prepare for it. All right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. All right? My advice to everyone, if you don't get nothing else out this video, my advice to everyone, read the Old Testament and do those things that apply to you. Read the Torah, the first 5 books, and do the things in them that apply to you. When you see an example of how to do something, change your old way, put away your old way, and start doing it the new way. Which was that example? Psalm 37, we're going to end there. All right? Tanakh, Torah, prophets, writings. We're going to end with one of the writings. I believe David wrote this particular one. Let's see. Psalm 37. Another familiar song. All right. It says of David. And I want to read this to encourage you guys. All right. I'm encouraging myself by doing this video. And I hope some of you are encouraged by my effort here. All right. Psalm 37, verse 1, of David. Do not be vexed by evil men. Do not be incensed by wrongdoers, for they soon wither like grass, like verdure fade away. Trust in Yahuwah and do good. Abide in the land and remain loyal. Seek the favor of Yahuwah. How many times have I said seek in this video when it pertains to Yahuwah? You're either seeking righteousness, you're seeking humility, you're seeking him. That we all still have much to learn. All right. Let's see. Seek the favor of Yahuwah, and he will grant you the desires of your heart. Leave all to Yahuwah. Trust in him. He will do it. He will cause your vindication to shine forth like the light, the justice of your case, like the noonday sun. Be patient and wait for Yahuwah. Do not be vexed by the prospering man who carries out his schemes. All right. Verse 8, give up anger, abandon fury. Do not be vexed. It can only do harm. I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. When it says in Ecclesiastes 1:18 that wisdom brings vexation, and then I read here in Psalms where David is encouraging us to do not be vexed, that's a powerful connection to make right there. David knew how to overcome those emotions, and he's sharing it with us. He's saying it can only do harm. Man, that's deep. Verse 9, for evil men will be cut off, but those who look to Yahuwah, they shall inherit the land. A little longer and there will be no wicked man. You will look at where he was and he will be gone. But the lowly shall inherit the land and delight in abundant well-being. And you guys can keep reading that. The earth ain't going nowhere. There is no we gonna die and go to heaven. We gonna meet up halfway in the air, and the dead shall rise and cry. There ain't none of that. Do I believe there will be a resurrection? I do. When you go read Ezekiel, I do believe that there will be a resurrection. All right. Do I believe in a rapture? No, I don't believe in a rapture. All right. I do believe that the righteous remnant will be restored when Israel is restored sometime after the fact, after Israel is back in their land and running the earth again and got all the nations in check. I believe the Father is going to do the resurrection that it talks about in Ezekiel. So that's going to do it. I wanted to drop this acronym on you guys real quick. Just a little something that I always use acronyms to help me remember stuff. I want to drop this one on y'all. The acronym is COFFEE. COFFEE, coffee. And it stands for calibrate, obey, focus, finish, execute, enjoy. Calibrate. Balance out your daily life activity. Balance it out. All right. You got to set parameters. All right. Don't let negative people steal your energy. Don't let vampires suck your energy. All right. Always control the energy in the room. All right. Your smile is a powerful tool. Even on days that you're hurting, your smile can still get you through it. All right. Obey. Read the Torah and do what it says to the best of your ability. It's called obedience. All right. Focus. All right. There are a lot of things in this earth right now that are distracting us. And I'm just as guilty as anybody when it comes to distractions. All right. Sports, family time, guilty pleasures such as foods and stuff like that. We're all distracted at certain moments. All right. You just got to tackle each day one at a time and focus on what the Most High would have you to do each day. All right. And I'm one of the ones that got to get better at that. Distractions is probably the biggest thing slapping me around. It really is. And I'm going to say this because I'm living proof. Procrastination is a distraction. All right. Finish. The second F is finish. Set goals and finish what you freaking start. All right. I wrote a book a few years ago, just recently started advertising and marketing it. It's called The Seven Anomaly. You guys can find it on Amazon. It's a science fiction book, but I told y'all that to tell you this. I rarely finish anything. 3-time college dropout. You know what I'm saying? I have all these different projects that I start around the house that I don't finish in a timely manner. I've always been that way. I'm bad at certain stuff, but I'm calling myself out, right? Because I got to become a finisher. We just read where the Most High was talking about in Proverbs 10, all right, that if you work, all right, then you will have success. If you put in the work, you'll get the success from it. So we got to start finishing. All right. This is as much for me as it is for everybody else. That's why I said I use acronyms so I can remember stuff. All right. Execute. When you put something in motion, all right, jot down, write down, or just remember some of the things that you'll need to do to be able to be as efficient and proficient in that thing as you can, and make your execution very effective. You want to be able to execute so well to where only success is waiting for you at the end. All right. And then the last thing, you'll be able to enjoy life. The Most High didn't put us here as a punishment. He put us here for a reason. Him testing us is a big part of the reason. All right. Because for us to make it into his family, you're going to have to survive the test. Because not just anybody is going to be in his family at the end of this thing. Ain't nobody wicked, ain't nobody evil, ain't nobody unjust going to be in his family. And you got to get tested over and over and over to see what's in your heart. I got to get tested over and over and over to see what's in my heart. So the acronym is COFFEE. Let me read the words again. All right. Calibrate, obey, focus, finish, execute, enjoy. I don't know if y'all can hear all that shooting and stuff going on, but it is midnight here in Oklahoma, Central Time Zone, and I'm recording this video on the so-called New Year. We all know that it ain't the New Year yet. That's so-called mess. All right. The new year starts when the leaves start sprouting on the trees and the buds and the grass starts growing up to turn green and all that stuff. All right. These people have fallen into the trap that I used to fall into. We probably finna hear gunshots for the next, that's just crazy. Finna hear gunshots for the next 2, 3, 5 minutes. But yeah. That's it. All right. Coffee. Calibrate, obey, focus, finish, execute, enjoy. All right. This was therapeutic. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. Shout out to all of you that have walked away from the salvific son, that fake Messiah. Shout out to y'all who have left the religion, the other religions, any other religion. All right, that's it, y'all. All right. You guys be strong. Continue to research. Do your own research. Don't take my word for nothing. Always go try to research what I'm saying and get a better understanding. All right. All right. That's going to do it. You guys know what I always say. I don't have all the answers. That don't make no sense. What in the world? These people is crazy. Again, I don't have all the answers, but I'll share what I learned. Much love, y'all. Shalom.